Hello and welcome to my patch notes rundown for the 14th of July. Small little patch notes this week, but fortunately I've got a bit of a ramble lined up for you guys. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Game health update. So I'm not going to go into any specifics on this topic as I think it's very difficult to accurately summarize the numeric changes across so many economies and pieces of content. Instead, I'm going to talk about what I think these game health updates should aim to do, whether this has been achieved with this iteration or not. I think the goal should be to make items and resources more accessible at their respective levels, meaning level 80 gear should be obtainable when players are around level 80 in that skill, and this should be done by enabling a variety of fun methods of obtaining them worthwhile doing. Regardless, I love the fact that in RuneScape there's a variety of ways you can progress your account, whether it's through XP or resources. And with the rebalancing of cannonball drops across so many bosses, why not make the original method of making them more competitive? For example, every 20 smithing levels you would produce an additional 50% cannonballs per bar. Meaning that at level 120 you'd be smithing 21,000 cannonballs per hour. You might think that this number might be a bit too high compared to something like Karapak, which is also, or was, a good source of cannonball drops. But you have to remember, at Karapak, cannonball drops are a byproduct of the main goal, which is probably for most people going to be the Fractured Staff of Armadyl. Whereas with smithing, you're solely making cannonballs while also not getting that much XP. Instead of nerfing current methods, I would like to see them buff original methods at a base level without any required rewards to be more competitive and incentivize variety. Having the option to be able to skill or PVM based on your preference or mood to progress towards the same goal is something I've grown to love in games. Now, using the most contentious example, Raksha. With this update, the Laceration and Blaster Fusion boots were removed from its drop rate. I think most players did Raksha primarily for the codices, and the boots were a nice byproduct. But even though the boots have effectively been moved down to a more accessible method of acquiring them, it doesn't feel worthwhile to spend the time needed on average to get them for their benefit, especially when considering that the Anachronia fauna don't have much of a byproduct. So what is the solution? Increase the drop rate? I don't want to get into it too much, but I think Slayer needs a complete overhaul, as it's become something most players either AFK or don't enjoy, and it's not really relevant anymore as a skill. Ultimately, I think these updates should be done to create more variety and incentivize more fun gameplay. I personally don't care as much about creating economic incentives or revitalizing old content. Let me know what you guys think. Oh, and players will no longer stop mining a shooting star when it has been mined to the next layer. And that's it for this week's patch notes. I try to keep my patch note videos condensed and grounded in facts while giving way to my other videos when it comes to broad ideologies. But do let me know what you guys think of this little twist and if you'd like to see more of this in the future. Anyways, that's it from me. Thank you for watching and take care.